Fifth place. That is where the windward Mercedes number 3 finished Sunday's race 2. And if you watched yesterday's video, you already know we didn't tell you the full story. Because when a man loses his life on the same circuit, on the same weekend, in the same race, lap times stop mattering, positions stop mattering, everything stops mattering, except the weight of what happened. So we covered the tragedy, we honored Juha Miettinen, and we left Verstappen's full weekend untold, deliberately. But now it's time. Because this story didn't start with a death, it started 24 hours earlier, with a qualifying lap, a penalty, and a 4-time world champion being pushed into the most dangerous starting position on the most dangerous track in the world. So how did we get here? And what is Verstappen doing right now as you watch this video? Let's go back to Saturday. Qualifying at the Nürburgring Nordschleife is not like any other session in motorsport. More than 100 cars, different categories, different braking points, different acceleration profiles, all sharing the same 22 kilometers of tarmac simultaneously. It is controlled chaos at best. At worst, it is exactly what Saturday became. For the windward Mercedes number 3, Verstappen's car, the session started with genuine promise. The pace was real. A top 6 starting position was within reach. Everything was aligned. Then, Lucas Auer encountered a slower Porsche in traffic at the worst possible moment. The stewards judged it as interference. The penalty was handed down immediately. 3 grid positions, gone. But here's the detail that made it sting even more. Lucas himself got in the car after that. He drove the Nordschleife. He pushed. He delivered a lap time that placed him 6th on the combined qualification classification. 6th, with the pace to fight at the very front. But because of that 3-place penalty, Sunday's race 1 grid position became 9th. 9th at the Nordschleife is not just a number. It is a completely different race. More traffic. Then came the confirmation that changed everything. Juha Miettinen, BMW 325i, number 121, 66 years old, a veteran of this very circuit, experienced, respected, part of the fabric of Nürburgring endurance racing for decades. Gone. Despite the immediate arrival of emergency services, the paramedics were unable to save the driver involved. The driver died in the medical center after all attempts at resuscitation proved unsuccessful. Race 1 ended permanently. Not paused, not delayed, over. And Verstappen, who had spoken openly just hours earlier about accepting the risk of a serious accident here, sat with those words now carrying a weight no one could have predicted when he said them. The night stint he had been building toward never came. He never drove a single competitive lap in race 1. The green hell had spoken, and nobody argued back. Sunday, 1300 local time. A minute's silence on the grid, every engine off, every driver standing still. The entire paddock united in the only gesture that felt adequate for what Saturday had taken. Then the engines restarted. Because that is what this world demands. You grieve, and then you race the same corners that cause the grief. It is brutal, it is uncomfortable, and it is the reality of the Nürburgring that no one discusses loudly enough. For race 2 qualifying, everything looked different. The Nordschleife dried from a wet morning into slick tire conditions by the time top qualifying began. Lucas Auer delivered a clean, committed lap that placed the number 3 car 5th on the grid. Pole position, the Condo Ferrari of Thierry Vermeulen, an 8-minute 10.275 lap, the fastest time of the session by 1/1000th of a second over the Gamoda BMW of David Jan. 1,000th. That is the Nürburgring in one number. 5th for Verstappen's car, clean air, a real opportunity, a completely different scenario from the penalty-ruined 9th of Saturday. And race 2, it delivered. The number 3 Mercedes finished 5th. Not a victory, but a result built on pace, execution, and a weekend that threw everything possible at this team, and they are still standing. More exposure, more blind approaches into corners where you cannot see what is waiting on the other side. And the grid penalty didn't just change where the car started, it changed everything that came after. The lights went out. Race 1 underway. Auer at the wheel for the opening stint, dropping initially to P10 through the chaos of the Grand Prix circuit section, but measured, composed, staying out of trouble in a field where trouble finds you whether you look for it or not. By the end of lap 1, P9 recovered, a clean overtake on the Aston Martin, controlled aggression. Lap 2, lap 3, battling between 6th and 10th. The car was alive. The strategy was building toward the moment Verstappen had been waiting for. The night stint, the darkness over the Nordschleife, the most demanding hours of the race, the part he specifically requested. On lap 3, a battle of the Mercedes. The number 3 car probing for P8. Not completing the move, but the intent was clear. The pace was undeniable. And then came lap 4. Red flag. Instant, no buildup, no warning, the kind of red flag that doesn't come from weather or a power failure, the kind that means something catastrophic has happened. Turn 26, Klostertal. A high-speed right-hander with a mid-corner camber change. Drivers are not braking there. They are fully committed, 100% trusting the surface beneath them. But the surface had been compromised. Another car had leaked fluid onto the circuit, and in one fraction of the second, the chain reaction was unstoppable. One car loses grip, the next arrives too fast, the next has nowhere to go. 7 cars, one section, one moment. Barriers impacted, debris everywhere, the track completely blocked. Emergency teams deployed all at once, medical crews, ambulances, and then the helicopter. In motorsport, helicopters are not sent for precaution. They are sent for urgency. Inside Verstappen's garage, silence. Screens being watched, no confirmation, no names, just the brutal, suffocating silence that the Nürburgring specializes in. 1 hour passed, cars stranded out on circuit, Klostertal completely sealed.
And here is where this story becomes something live. Because as you watch this video, Max Verstappen is on track. The 24-hour qualifier experience is done. The lessons have been painful. The cost has been unimaginable. But the main event, the reason Verstappen came to the Nürburgring in the first place, is now the focus. Everything that happened this weekend was preparation. Every penalty, every lost position, every moment of silence in that garage, all of it feeding into one question that only the track can answer. Is this team ready for 24 hours of the green hell? We will cover Verstappen's full race performance, every stint, every position, every moment in the next video, because that story deserves its own stage. Scenario 1. The painful weekend becomes the foundation. Verstappen channels everything, the frustration, the grief, the unfinished business into the performance this project was always capable of. And the number 3 car finishes where its pace has always suggested it should. Scenario 2. The pattern that defined this weekend follows them into the main race. External factors, operational errors, the small cracks in a team still learning this world. And 24 hours exposes everything that a 4-hour qualifier only hinted at. Scenario 3. None of the results matter as much as what this weekend revealed. About the Nürburgring, about the risk every driver accepts when they enter it, about what it means to race a circuit that was never, and will never be, truly safe. Juha Miettinen was 66 years old, a veteran, a racer, a man who loved this circuit enough to keep coming back. And now Max Verstappen races on, at the same track, through the same corners, past the same barriers. The full race performance? We cover that next. But the question that this entire weekend leaves unanswered is the one that no lap time can resolve. How many times can the green hell take everything from you before you stop coming back? One thing is certain. Verstappen is still out there, and the Nürburgring is still watching.